I could seek Spanish nationality now. I've been here long enough. I don't want to. I want to be British. Why can't we vote?
This expat decided over 15 years ago that he wanted to move to another country. It could be because of the climate, it could be because of the culture, it could be for many reasons. And I say hooray, fantastic. If that's what you want to do in your life, then that's brilliant. You've made that choice, not me, not 17.4 million, not 16.4 million. You made that choice.
Ron, like many expats, is now a Spanish resident, but still a British national.
I could seek Spanish nationality now. I've been here long enough. I don't want to.
Now, your choices started to end coming up to the 15-year rule, where you are unable to vote for a general election, a local election, an EU referendum, or anything to do with Britain. Because you are now not contributing to that country at all, 99.9% of the time. And if you're not going by the consequences of those votes, then you should not have a vote, full stop. It's quite logical, quite clear. But somehow these expats believe that they should be able to keep their British citizenship, even though they live in another country, and live by the rules of those countries and are not looking to come back to Britain.
This is not Spain as the Spanish know it.
Oriela Costa, as they call it. It's all ex-British.
If you walk about, you hear a lot of English spoken here.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Much more than Spanish.
Orihuela Costa has been likened to a giant retirement village. Rows of near-identical houses, home to perhaps one of the biggest concentrations of expat Brits anywhere.
Now, my parents come over here in the 1960s for work. My mother worked in the NHS cleaning the wards, and my father worked as a chef inside the hospitals. When my family first come over here, when my parents first come over here, they understood that they had to change their way of life and also learn the language. So they made sure that they stuck around the British people, learnt the language, and then become British citizens. These expats don't want to be Spanish citizens, don't want to be German citizens, don't want to be Italian citizens. They want their community. They want to stay in their little cubbyhole. Just like these expats said on the video that they could walk outside their house and be all English. It's very rare that they speak to a Spanish person. The hypocrisy is absolutely mad. So again, all they really want is their cake and eat it. They want to be able to control our lives in Britain, but also have a great life in another country with the great sunshine, the great food, but also have the English shops, the English pubs, the Irish pubs. The scenery around them is beautiful, but it's Britain underneath the sun.
Well, first of all, expats are British. A foreigner is probably someone living from another country living in Britain. They become foreigners. The British are never foreigners wherever they go.
A British citizen that's moved to another country is called an expat. A person from another country moving to Britain is a foreigner or an immigrant. These are the double standards from the expat community. And this is not just these clips that I'm showing you. I promise you, I know of people that have moved over to Spain. I know people that have bought villas in Spain. And 99.9% of the time, they will move into areas that are 99% British. With the British shops, the British restaurants, the British pubs.
Enormous housing estate, or not one, but dozens and dozens and dozens of very large housing complexes. It's effectively a British enclave. They have British TV, British newspapers, British shops, British bars. Effectively, they are living in Little Britain.
Now, for the last few days since I've been off work, I decided to look on the internet, trying to find some articles, trying to find some interviews, trying to find some expats that were complaining about the fact that they've been into, I don't know, say for instance Spain in 15 years and now they can't vote in a general election or local elections or whatever it is. I tried to find some real good information to prove that maybe they were complaining about it before. And all I found was one website, an expat site. And all that expat site was saying, look, this is what the law is. After 15 years of living in Spain, you will lose the right to vote in Britain. It was just basically a general information site for expats. No complaints. Now, leading up to the EU referendum, of course, Armageddon. Every channel, BBC One, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, YouTubers, all talking to expats and how they're really upset because they can't vote inside the EU referendum because they've been in the other countries since. See, the fact is, if you've lived in a country for over 15 years, then just maybe, I'll just put a thought out there for you. Become a citizen of that country. Not just register, become a citizen of that country. After 15 years, surely you should be a citizen of France, Germany, Spain. Maybe you should learn the language of France, Germany or Spain. Instead of being a hypocrite and trying to keep your toe inside of Britain, to somehow try and change things in this country that you should not be able to change. Because you decided, by your feet, to walk away from our country. So why should you be able to vote and make changes in my country that you won't perceive the circumstances for? For instance, like Jeremy Corbyn becoming Prime Minister, somehow you can vote him in. You see the stupidity of it all. The fact is, as an expat, you have decided to leave Britain. All for you. You've decided to leave to maybe go to a nicer place with better sunshine. All for you. I love the fact you've chosen that. I love the fact you've chosen it for your family. But again, that was your choice, not mine, not this country's. So if you've got an issue with that, then all you need to do is come back to our country and you'll get your voting rights back. But until then, ciao.